Okay, so everybody wants to know how we actually make our AI videos. A lot of people been asking and have a lot of questions. So I'm here with the creator and me as co-creator. That's gonna be I Kill You Dead Reporter and me, Zach Kill You Johnson. Let's start with just creating. Where the idea come from?
Yeah, thank you for having me. So we kind of sat down for a little bit, spitball a couple of ideas, and this one kind of stuck. You know how you throw things on the wall and hope that something stick. So it's just one of those.
So a lot of people probably gonna have a question about Pearl's House of Wisdom, and it kind of seems a little bit like Tyler Perry.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of people kind of probably going to see something similar. You know, a couple of similarities, but there's always things out there where people get creative, and it kind of has the same nuances as other things. So that happens a lot when people are creative. You know, the same thing with music. Oh,
Okay, now we're gonna go to like behind the scenes, the nitty gritty. I'm gonna take some parts in this, but let's talk about um, the writing, actually writing it down, because a lot of people think, I know a lot of people believe this, that it's all just AI. We click in there, 1, 2, 3, make the whole video.
I wish that was the actual fact, where it'd be a magic button you could just push and it generates and make everything. But surprisingly, it actually takes a lot. It takes a lot of time, a lot of money you got to put into it. And I remember there's many days when I just set up like 3 or 4 days straight, just working on 10 to 20 seconds of edits. Just had to get the scenes right. Every now and then, probably something slipped through the cracks or something, but it's a very strenuous process.
On my end, I'm just gonna go quickly into talk about the actual writing of the script. So yeah, there's some things we took from Tyler Perry. We there's some interesting topics, but we feel like the space was missing something. That kind of gritty style, and AI helped us to create it without dipping into $1 million budgets. We just don't have that money. But another thing that I want people to hear about is creating the characters. So talk to us about that part about it.
So the characters they inspired us throughout life, and actually, like you was talking about earlier, yeah, we do get inspired by a lot of comedies and stuff, and we was missing. I know we were missing like some of the old school uh, TV shows where it was like Family Matters, Full House, and like Three's Company, all those old school things. We want to bring back something like that. And I know there's another generation gap where some people probably never got to experience that. Waking
Mm.
up in the morning or trying to rush home to make sure you can see your favorite show with your favorite characters and there's funny catchphrases. We're trying to like embed that and bring that back, at least so we can share it with people, but using the power of AI.
Yeah. Okay. Then the next one, the actual dialogue, right? Because again, I keep going back to the whole AI thing because a lot of people feel like you can put in AI, hey, say these things like this. So tell us about that portion of it.
Okay, so if you look at some of our videos, you'll see that it actually has that co-casting and director and stuff like that. That's because we actually had to sit down and write these scripts, like word for word. The AI, it would actually restate the stuff you say, but you have to tell it how to say it, when to say it, where, and like giving cues as if it was an actual actor. Like it's getting more in depth, which is amazing. But at the same time, we're finding ourselves putting more work into it, like we're actual directors. I thought myself when I first started this project, which is that it would be something simple where we could just throw something together. But later on, found out that we're the ones who actually have to come up with some of the jokes. Every now and then, we try to get a little help from like just sitting around telling jokes, and some of them are close, probably dad jokes. I want to say because some of it's my sense of humor, and the other parts are just from your creative mind. So yeah, it's not just AI generated. It's actually coming from us to actually help it along.
Okay, this is a perfect transition to talk about actually using the AI editing. Well, I know we don't want to give away the secret sauce, right? We don't want people to just copy what we're doing, but I want to talk about actually using the systems.
Uh, to even talk about the systems, because there's so many systems that you got to incorporate and make them work together. I want to say I used over 7 to 10 different systems and doing just a search to make sure they all sync or they work. You can't always find the answer. Sometimes you just have to experiment and look and see what you can create one thing and move on to the next. Yeah, so we have a bunch of different systems that we use. Nano Banana is a really big one that's out there. That's one of them. But then, we create our own music. Just about everything you see in that show is from our creative minds. You have the actors that we actually create. You have the scenes. You have the music, the dialogue. So every time you see something in there, it's probably one different system we're using, and we're combining all of them to make the masterpiece that people be watching and they enjoy.
Okay, and then this is gonna be a big one. What about some of the limitations? What do you feel like is holding us back, or some of the things that you wish you could do a lot smoother?
Well, as you know, there's a lot of disclaimers, and there are some limitations on certain things. Like, there's, I want to say, safety features that you can't overlook. Like, you can't address certain things like racism. Like, that's a decent topic to talk about when you want to talk about something that's as emotional or powerful. But majority of these systems, these AI systems that we use, have safety measures where you can't show death, gratuity of like people being beat on or anything like that. You can show fight scenes, but if you notice, there's nothing like too graphic. You'd have to find workarounds, which is fine. It's good for public interest to not have so many different gory things all over the splashed all over the internet. But it also limits you from actually addressing those serious topics because racism is a part of it. But we're just not allowed to address that. So we're still trying to figure out how we can keep the comedy light, but at the same time address some of the issues that people face today in a comedic way.
Okay, and this is probably one of the best questions to wrap this on up. What's next for Pearl and her family?
Well, like you said, I don't want to give away the secret sauce, but there's definitely going to be uh, some additional characters is going to be showing up that probably no one is going to expect, and we mainly want to see what's Darnell. What's his direction? What's going on? I mean, I don't want to be a person who spoils the show and stuff like that. So I don't want to talk too much on it, but I will say that there's going to be some iconic scenes that people will definitely remember, and it's going to be one of those things that people could talk about. Like maybe parents can sit down and they can talk to their kids about it or something like that, or maybe it'll just be good for a good laugh. But there are going to be times when we're gonna hit on those driving points to drive it home and let them know, hey, this is funny, but at the same time, it's to have you thinking too, and you sit down and you talk to people about it.
Okay, hey, we appreciate you. And again, this is 3 Day Dev, where we try to talk about AI and the different ways it's going to. And again, we appreciate y'all. And if you appreciate us, please go check out Pearl's House of Wisdom. We work on it every week, and we're trying to create a lot of great things for you out there.